goddess of wrath of Peleus' son Achilles, cursed wrath which hurled many strong souls of heroes down to Hades, made them a food for the dogs, and a feast for the birds, and the will of Zeus was accomplished. Welcome to Lecture 1.1, the Bardic Occasion of the Living Epic courses, Living Epic and Gaming Homer, and that was the beginning of the Iliad as performed goofily by me, but in a style which I hope begins to get at what we're going to be talking about in this lecture and really throughout the course, because this very first lecture contains the nugget of everything that we're going to talk about and will lead us on into that kind of mysterious region where we'll get very quickly, that is video games. So I want to pair that singing with the way it would have sounded in Greek, just so you know how we're talking about it, and then move on to talk about it a bit in the Odyssey and in Albert Lord's The Singer of Tales, and then connect that up with what I'm going to be saying with regard to video games. But the stuff about video games is only going to make sense if we first deal with this thing that is the subject of Module 1 and of this Lecture 1, the Bardic Occasion. So here we go in Greek with the beginning of the Iliad. So what you probably heard was the rhythm, and that rhythm, main aida ta peleado achilleos, dum-pa-da-dum-pa-da-dum-pa-da-dum-pa-da-dum-pa-da-dum-bum, is what I'm going to be calling the hexameter, or the dactylic hexameter. Much more about that later, but you could tell that there was a difference in the kind of free recitative style I was using in the English, and in the very metrical style, metrical recitative I was using with the Greek. But anyway, that's me quoting the text of the Iliad, which was at some point, we're not exactly sure when, and that's one of the things we'll talk about, written down in Greek and then later, of course, translated into English. That translation, by the way, was my own, intended to suit the chords I was playing, although, of course, didn't suit them as well as a really good guitar player and singer might have done it. In any case, I want to chase that with a little bit of Albert Lord's The Singer of Tales, who presents it in the form that he gave it when he did the first real synthetic work on the comparison between ancient Homeric epic and the still living epic tradition of Yugoslavia, which he and his mentor and colleague Milman Parry worked on. So here it is from Albert Lord in The Singer of Tales. Now remember, if you're in the course Living Epic, you're not required to have this book. You are required to have it if you're in the Gaming Homer course, but for everybody it's obviously, I think, a great book and one well worth taking a look at. Okay, here we are on page 13 of Lord's The Singer of Tales. We must grasp fully who, or more correctly what, our performer is. We must eliminate from the word performer any notion that he is one who merely reproduces what someone else, or even he himself, has composed. Our oral poet is composer. Our singer of tales is a composer of tales. Singer, performer, composer, and poet are one under different aspects, but at the same time. Singing, performing, composing are facets of the same act. Alright, and so I can chase that with a little bit of Homer, so you know we're not really talking abstractly at all. I want to give you a little bit from Book 1 of the Odyssey. Now, this is required for everybody, and we're at line 325 of Book 1. If you have the Lattimore translation, we're on page 35.